Well, hi, everybody. This is Aaron Wilson, OSU Extension Ag Weather and Climate Field Specialist, back for another update for Battle of the Belt. Looking at the weather as we head now into summer, unofficially, meteorological summer starts on June 1st. So we're certainly in that season and hoping for nothing but great growing conditions the rest of the season here. If you look at the last 30 days, it certainly has been on the warm side. This is driving, obviously, really good crop growth for those that were able to get in a timely fashion this spring. So temperatures are generally running 2 to 6 degrees above average for the month of May or throughout the last 30 days. And again, that's driving the accumulation of growing degree days, the heating units out there, which is very different than we saw last May when we had cooler than average temperatures and northerly flow. A lot of wildfire smoke, you remember last year as well, that to some extent helped keep those GDDs down just a bit in parts of the summer. But right now we're running anywhere from 120 to 150 days above average in terms of growing degree days since April 1st. Since May 1st, we've accumulated anywhere from 400 to 600 growing degree days just in the month of May alone, and that's anywhere from 80 to 120 growing degree days ahead of schedule. So things are moving pretty rapidly out there, and I think you're seeing that in terms of crop development. But we did have a pretty late frost last week, just right before Memorial Day. We had pockets of temperatures, as you can see on the dark green pockets here on the map, of 35 to 40 degree temperatures out there. And we did see pictures of frost coming in from some isolated locations. Not really a big deal, but certainly not something we see every year in terms of frost at the end of May. Over the last 30 days, as far as precip goes, it has been widely variable across the state. We do have some areas across the Cleveland area, Northeast Ohio, also Southwest Ohio, and pockets of Southeast Ohio that have only picked up 1 to 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches over the last 30 days, and that's a bit below average. Now, if you look at the total number of days since April 1st, more than half of those days we've seen at least a trace of rainfall, and that was really hard for Northwest Ohio, following up April record rainfall, for instance, in Toledo of 7.94 inches of rain in the month of April. We followed that up with a big 8-day consecutive stretch of rainfall from May 7th through May 14th. Thankfully, things lightened up toward the end of May and allowed farmers and producers to get out there and get the planting in a little bit better now as we're starting June. So again, precip's been a bit below average actually across west central Ohio and parts of northeast Ohio as well. So we'll continue to monitor that. Of course, we get into this time of the year, it's a lot of areas seeing precip, some not seeing precip, and we have to kind of go with that. So overall, soil moisture is normal to dry. We are seeing some drying signals out there, but I'm not too concerned about that right now. So the forecast this week, pretty mild to start the week. Today we're really in the low to mid 80s. Pretty nice conditions out there after some morning fog. Tomorrow we will start to feel the influence of another cold front moving into the region. Highs will soar up into the mid to upper 80s tomorrow, so another good growing day for those crops out there, ahead of some scattered showers that move in late in the day and overnight Tuesday. Certainly Wednesday, I think, is a bit wetter of a day across the state. Again, not everyone's going to see rainfall this week. But areas that do could be potentially heavy. We'll see how that moves forward. We will tend to cool down as we head toward the latter part of the week into the 70s, I think, as we get into Thursday with northerly flow, northwesterly flow, and even highs in the upper 60s to mid 70s Friday with overnight lows in the 40s and 50s again. So a little bit of a chill that's not unusual for the 1st of June, but certainly a little bit cooler than to start the week. This weekend, we're going to continue to have that northwesterly flow, highs in the mid to upper 70s, some rainfall, scattered showers around. Again, nothing too heavy. I think overall, if you look at the next 7 days, only looking at a ½ inch to maybe an inch across the state. We should see about an inch or so per week. So this would be a bit below average, actually, even though we might see several days of some light rainfall. Again, to kind of sort of been the story of this spring, not necessarily heavy rainfall, but certainly quite a few days. Heading through the middle part of June, temperatures do look to stay below average. So a lot of 70-degree day highs, I think, over the next 2 weeks. So that may slow things down just a little bit. Precip looks to stay about near average to maybe slightly greater than average across eastern Ohio, but overall looking pretty good. And the same can be said for the month of June. I think toward the end of June, we'll come out of this cool and anomalously cool period and get more back into 80s for highs, closer to average. And I think we'll end the month close to average, both from a precip and a temperature perspective. So not a bad June outlook. as long as we can keep that wildfire smoke away, this June will be a lot better than last June. So until next time, you could always reach out to wilson.1010@osu.edu for more weather and climate information. Thank you so much.